Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to Master of Command, where we're gonna start a new campaign here as the Russian Empire and the Cossack host. I really want to play that because I had in Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich mod played a very fun cavalry run with Baron von Ungern. That of course is a little bit later than this time period, but we're gonna do it. We're going to play the Cossacks. The modifiers here are going to be the Hungry Bear, so settlements are pillaged twice as effectively, but the provision consumption is going to be higher, and we will get more loot. So I think that's a nice benefit here. And we're going to change the settings a little bit in that we can fight against any nation, because this is a bit of old history. And then we're going to pick 3 modifiers here. That is going to be provision and ammo consumption. That is gonna be recruitment cost and the broken ranks. I think that all makes sense and is thematical, and it is, I think, useful for a full cavalry run here. Because indeed, we're gonna try to play this as mostly artillery, if at all. So, let's see what we want to have here. So, and I'm mostly interested about these things. Generate ammunition, not that useful. Regiment veterancy +3 when recruited, but recruitment costs are slightly higher. They are higher anyway. And item cost at settlement is somewhat lower. I'm not too sure about any of these, and in terms of what I can get up here, I don't think I want any of that, to be honest. Horse Grenadiers, you know what? I think we're going to suppress Western Prussia because raiding is fine, slums are going to be fine. Less item cost, and we're going to get some Horse Grenadiers. I think that makes sense. We want to play mostly Hussars, but I will take on other horse units. And you know what? Why not Grenadiers? I would have played with the Dragoons too, but we're going to be happy with this. Right, let's continue. Did it work? Oh, because I didn't select it. Well, there we go. Act 1 it is. Western Prussia. We're going to click through all of the events basically, because I think most of you will have read them at this point. Right, so we've got von Tottenleben over here. He has melee and charge bonuses, but veterancy gain is lower. We're going to give these guys, they're all Cossacks. Cossacks are not particularly good, I have to say. Only 25 charge and 20 melee, but they are pretty fast, and that at least is nice. So let's give these guys horses to make them a little bit faster. Let's give these guys a little bit of alcohol, so he's going to be a bit braver. There is our initial supply cache. We're going to take talers, so basically money, and we're going to face an army that is immediately twice our size here. And that's going to be fun. Sorry about the cough here. It's going to be 1 cavalry and 2 recruit units against our 4 hussars. Now, our hussars, again, they are not that great, and these types of battles are going to be fun because we're going to play pretty much only cavalry, I guess. Let's see whether we can hold that up, but so my long-term goal is probably around 3 units, or 3 quadruple units, I should say, of Cossacks, and then maybe 1 other unit of cavalry, and then we're going to see whether we can play with anything else. Right, let's distribute our forces here a little bit. I'm not going to be too bothered about the terrain, because we are not going to occupy any strong points, anything like that. We're going to, in fact, accelerate time here a little bit, because obviously what I think we need to do is sort of come around the enemy, try to be a bit nifty here. Right, okay, so yeah, we're gonna try to keep them unbalanced and basically have our cavalry sort of shift around a little bit to induce them to break their ranks and basically build up something that they would regret. Okay, they are building a front here, I guess to the left? To the left or to the right? It's always a little bit hard to say. Okay, but they are now redoing this a little bit. Okay, let's bring you guys into here. And we're gonna strike these Cantonese recruits while they're doing their thing here. And while they are in balance, they're not really capable of doing much. These guys are gonna try to withdraw from over here because I think their cavalry is coming in towards us. You can see we have clashed into them. We haven't really taken too many casualties here. We have forced them to retreat. That's lovely, of course. Right, this cavalry needs to countercharge. This cavalry needs to get away from that. While they're doing this, these guys can get over here, and then these guys are going to turn around now and charge into that as well. We are taking quite a couple of casualties here, and I guess that's going to be true for a while, that we're going to take enormous casualties over time. But that's going to be alright. That is just to be expected, right? You guys, I don't think you're going to charge after these guys, because we will need to do something about the last unit here. We're going to distribute our forces a little bit again so that we can hit them from multiple angles. Seems fine, no one is completely broken, no one's morale is completely sapped, no one's stamina is completely sapped. But you know what? I think as long as these guys are going that way, we might as well try to slam into them, basically. There we go, from all sides. Oh, isn't that lovely? Okay, they have shot at us, but I don't think they're going to be too well positioned to deal with us, and that is indeed our victory here. Now, these fights are going to be much tougher than the normal ones, because our cavalry, again, is not very good. This first one, I think we did fairly well over here. Let's see what we got in terms of our stuff. Victory at Altmark. Move is nice, reload is not going to be too relevant for us. There's going to be saddle, that's nice. The rest of this stuff honestly is not that good for us. What do we need? Now we could get a little bit of money, that would be appreciated. We don't need the ammo, we don't think need the reservists, I think. So let's go for the veterancy here, because I do very much believe that we need veterancy, because as I said, the Cossacks are not that good initially, but once you get the Don Cossacks, 45 charge, that is really, really nice. The speed of 70 is super great. We could even go for these guys. They're a little bit better, I think, in terms of reload and accuracy to build maybe some sort of dragoons. But yeah, that right now. Okay, let's look at what we've got here. Oh, these crosses are nice. This stuff is all to be sold. That's really not that useful at all for us. Suppose we could keep this stuff. But yeah, the rest here is pretty much a useless for us. Right, so let's distribute the saddles and such. So maybe move speed. You know what? I think someone else. You guys don't have anything right now. You couldn't get the move speed. Give you a little bit more even, and then you guys are going to get the crosses so that you have even more in terms of charging capabilities, and that's fine. Now, where do we start? We are right in the corner down here. We need to get to the settlements and to the slums. There are a couple of slums over here. There are very few settlements. Where on earth are settlements? Probably along the road, if I have to guess. Now, we're gonna go on forced march and come up over here at least a little bit until we meet sort of the first village. There we go, Altmark. Let's get into town here. Let's see what the modifiers are. Fewer items at shops, that's fine. We are gonna sell all of this because we really don't need it. That's going to give us another 530, that's fine. This would cost us 300, that doesn't make sense for now, but if we look at the barracks, do we have anything? I don't think surf recruits can... No, they don't have a cavalry promotion pass. Artillery recruits obviously don't, observation recruits don't either, so yeah, no recruits here that we're going to take, but we're going to take a look at the stable and see what we have here. Morale and movement speed, that's nice. And the melee damage received modifier on this one is cool too. I think the horseshoes are going to be super nice. And the basket hill broadswords. Now that is expensive, but I think these are items that we're going to keep up for much longer. So we're going to keep that. Quartermaster, don't think there's anything here. Well, there's always stuff that would be kind of nice. Spirits. You know what? Let's buy some alcohol. I think that's great. I'm spending more here than I care to admit, but let's see. So you're a little bit slow still, so we're going to give that to you. We're going to give you a nice sword, and you are going to get alcohol, and that means we can sell worn sabers for just a little bit more money. We have a bit of everything. We don't need the ammo, to be honest. We don't... We could get a couple of people here. Let's do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to raid, of course, because we are here to raid and pillage. And basically get all of our stuff from these raided villages and so on. Right. That is nice. That is a breastplate and a light saddle that we can take. The rest is, again, not that very useful for us. But we also got some money and stuff, so... This reduces movement speed. That's all fine. Let's reduce your movement speed. You can take that sort of best. And that's it. Good. Right. We've raised our first settlement. If we get the 5 slums, we can buy stuff cheaper. That is appreciated. Okay, we're going to walk here a little bit. We're going to march normally. That means we can spot this convoy. We're going to get over there in the convoy, in the forced march. Because remember, if we don't use forced march, we will OD. Let's roll the dice here. Okay, that was not good. But yeah, if we don't use that, we do incur 3 talers per regiment. That is not what I want to do. We're going to every now and then sort of briefly pause. Right after we are paying that, go back on a march, get a bit of vision all around. There's a battlefield down there. That's interesting to see. We might want to hook up there. Okay, let's do it. Let's go to the battlefield first. I don't want to be too distracted by things that we can't find. That's okay. Face a weak enemy field army. Okay, I'm not particularly keen on that. They've got 3 times our numbers. But here we are. So they've got hussars. Otherwise, it mostly is recruits and a couple of lumpily. Now, Prussians, of course, are super strong, as we know. So this is not particularly great, but what can we do? Well, what we can do is spread out and try to hit them in the flanks and converge on them rapidly as a step horde. That is what we're going to do. That is what we're going to try at least. But with only 4 units, this is going to be exceedingly difficult. Let's make sure everyone is a little bit more like compact so that they can swivel around a little bit faster and just head off in different directions. Confuse the enemy. Try to find a weak spot here. Gonna do on double speed. Now, I've found that the AI sometimes is a little bit easy to be confused, and once their generals are dead. And that is something that we're going to try to, of course, provoke. We'll need to find a balance here between keeping our units compact so that they can really converge quickly on a unit. For example, guys are now, I think, moving. But on the other hand, also spread around enough so that we can really deal with enemies as they arise. I'm tempted to go ahead here and try to hit these recruits. The reason why I'm not immediately doing that... You are going left, right? Yes, you are. The reason why I'm not immediately going to do that is because these hussars are going to come back and try to hurt us. But nevertheless, this is too tempting. They've got their flanks over here against us. So, are you turning around now? I think you are turning around now. In that case, we're gonna pull away from that actually. Everyone turning around? Everyone is doing a thing. Okay, you know what? We're gonna hit him. We are gonna hit them. They're not prepared. They're not braced at all, anything. We're gonna wait here a second until these guys are charging, then we're gonna charge them from 2 directions. You can see their cavalry is indeed moving up, so we'll need to finish this quickly and then withdraw because their cavalry is going to be tough to face. This is taking much longer than I would have hoped, but at least we did get them to break, so that's okay. You guys are running away quickly, that's fine. You guys can turn around, please, because you'll need to charge these hussars in their flank. Right, let's move you up here. You guys can go there. You guys, let's keep an eye on that, and this is going to be one of these episodes where I'm going to pause quite a bit. That might have been a bit too early, but let's see. Come on guys, come on. Charge them in their rear, and once they make contact, we can turn around with these guys and hit them too. Ooh, look at how many losses we are taking against their hussars. They actually got our unit to retreat, which is really not good. But on the other hand, we got them too. Right, let's take our guys and make sure that we are trying to gather these guys again. Okay, you guys over there, and that means the guys are way in the rear. Need to make sure that they are not being caught in the open there. Okay, it doesn't seem like we can regain our unit here. That's fine. I'd rather have them be off the battlefield rather than trying to come back to us. Coming back, by the way, means these Freikorps recruits over there that we've beaten earlier are coming back into the battle now, which is not fantastic. Let's make sure that the Hussars don't come back, because I really want to break their general. Right, our general can move down here. The Landmiliz is trying to get towards us. I would like to hit the continuous recruits here at some point. Can go for double speed. Make sure the Hussars don't come back. Yeah, there they go. You guys can now please normally walk over here. Make sure that we're not going to be hit by the Freikorps recruits, nor the Landmiliz. Okay, they are cornering us a little bit here, which I don't like, so we're going to have our cavalry run circles a little bit. Which way are these guys facing? These guys here are facing towards us. So if we're fast, we might just run behind them. Don't give them a chance to turn around. And then maybe hit the Landsmiliz as they're trying to catch up with our Cossacks. Okay, you guys come here. By the way, notice how fast they are. I mean, yes, I'm on double speed, I know. But still, everyone is kind of fast. Right. I think we are getting these guys in a little corner here, the Landmiliz. They're very much drawn out. Okay, let's hit them from all sides simultaneously. Yes, very nice. We shouldn't take too many casualties here, and we have indeed broken them. Completely scatter them with very much love. Good. Let's get everyone in perfect order. Stop hunting these guys down. I know you want to. I know you're Cossacks. I know you're not particularly disciplined. But I do need you to catch your breath a little bit. And I very much hope that our future battles are going to be a little bit easier. Because this is kind of tough. I mean, a little bit at least. These recruits down here could be hit. There's a certain something to be said for that. They don't have a lot of morale. The Landmiliz, on the other hand, has an enemy general, so I don't like that. Or at least a commander. Officer, I think is the term in the game. Have our general track these guys. Potentially I should have hit the Freikorps recruits first. But doesn't seem like that's gonna... Right, you guys are gonna run a little bit. So that should allow us to come up to the Landmiliz. Circle around. Okay, they are shifting targets. Shifting targets to this Cossack. They're facing down here, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it would be nice if you could tell that a little bit more easily. Right. Not sure for who you're going. Potentially our general, right? Come here and hit them in their rear. Then once you guys are here, you can also hit them from the sides. Bam, bam, bam. It is a general unit, or an officer unit, but we did manage to kill them nicely. Notice, by the way, these guys here pretty much seem to have bugged out. I think that's when you kill the general and they don't really have a leader anymore. So I very much love that, but you know what? I think if everyone comes behind the recruits, they're probably going to turn around and then we have everyone sort of facing their front, which I don't like. So let's try to... Yeah, see? That's what they're doing now. So we do need to converge on them, and I think we need to hit them right away before they can reload and do all of their thing there. Yeah, they are very much already facing us. And I dislike that because now we are hitting them in not necessarily their rear. Okay, they are retreating. Lovely, shattered. Everyone, stop doing that. Right. Walk everyone over there, and then accelerate time here a little bit. Which way are you guys facing? South. East, I guess. That means come up. Yeah, notice how pretty much screwed they are. There we go, and bam, 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 bam. We did take a couple of casualties there in the end, but I still think that's fine. And at least we are getting some good stuff. We do very much get loot, so I like to see that. How many casualties did we take? 400. We are still okay-ish, but maybe for some events it would be nice to get a couple of reservists. I do like the veterancy though. The provisions I don't think we need to care about too much. I noticed the most guys were killed a little bit by the Freikorps recruits, but also especially by the Hussars. Did we get anything good? The Bibles I like and the beer I like. The rest is pretty much not relevant. Let's go for the veterancy. We really do need it. Our units are so weak, and I really want to get the promotions on at least one unit. One unit would be very good. Okay, you're gonna get Bibles. You're gonna get Bibles. No one is getting beer for now, but at some point you will be. Right. Back to forced march and off towards these slums. Maybe that is where I would have appreciated some people. Okay, do we want to spend the money? Do we want to reveal armies or patrol armies? I think we want to pay money. I mean, the weak would be great. But just knowing where their armies are is very good. Because again, we do get more stuff from fighting armies. Let's go to these slums. We're on fast march. Let's go to normal march briefly, just so we can discover everything and then back to forced march. Interesting that there's a patrol army down here. Do we want to get weapons or do we want to get reservists? I think we do want to get weapons. In the hope of finding some swords, we do. Let's give that to you. And that's nice. Let's try to go back to the street here. See where there's going to be a village or such. There's a fort. You guys are patrolling down there. I would very much like to catch you out in the open. Another one up there. Also a battlefield up here. Let's swing by that. Catch that. Yeah, we don't have anything that we can commit. So I think that's something that we'll need to do. Well, another battlefield down there, but I do want to catch them. There we go. Again, 3 times our numbers. This time 2 cavalry units, but they're not quite as strong individually. So let's see whether we can fight them. These are weird battles. They are very different to sort of the line and the positioning. They really just surround them, confuse them, converge on them, screw them over. Right. Everyone, you know what? I think it's quicker if I do it this way. What I dislike about this terrain is that river there, that hinders mobility, and ours as much as theirs. It can be good if we can make use of it, but it also means that if we find some spots where we think we could exploit that, it would be much harder to come around again, right? Okay, I know it's a bit of a dance here. I would have like to have at least 2 Cossack units of ours against their cavalry when we hit them. Their cavalry is so far pretty defensive, I have to say. Seems like... Oh! Notice these guys? I think they are coming for our cavalry. Try to cross the river there. Okay, we have been caught out by these musketeers. That's not good. But we have managed to split them. And that I very much like to see. It's a bit nasty that we're going to have the cavalry fight here so close to the enemy units. That's just something that we have to accept, I guess. Okay, this cavalry is trying to catch us. Both of their cavalries are in fact now trying to catch us. Not sure where these guys are going, the enemy unit there on the right. But let's see, okay. Definitively, these guys are now charging us here. So let's try to counter-charge them. Are we catching up? Yes, we are. Good. Okay. Nice up here. Not sure whether you want to. You will come up a little bit. These battles are going to be costly for us, cavalry against cavalry. Especially since we can't get the timing super right. But I do like to take care of their general. Or one of their officers. Right, we could try to get rid of the other officer. There are certain advantages to that. He's isolated. And I think since he hasn't reloaded and he's on the other side of this river, I think we might have a chance here to hit him before their cavalry can come really into play. Although they're going to charge across this river fairly soon, I suppose. Let's try to not do that. Okay, they are coming up there. Yeah, their cavalry is doing the thing where they're going to charge us very soon. Now we are really in front of their infantry, so I hate that. But at least we are getting their infantry to be sort of wheeling around a little bit. Continue to wheel around. Their cavalry is soon going to charge us. Yes, they are. Okay, in that case, let's try to get behind them. Okay, hit them, hit them. Ooh. This I dislike. Our cavalry here was running into the enemy infantry. Okay, what I do like is that their infantry is in complete disarray. This general melee is not good, but as soon as our other guys can come in into their flank and into their rear, I think we're going to be in a much better position. Notice on the minimap someone is coming in here from the right, but I do believe as soon as we manage to catch them, annihilate their last unit here, good, then we do need to catch our breath. Notice how everyone here is out of stamina, which of course is more than a bit of an issue. But if we do distribute our forces a little bit and give them some time to recuperate, some R&R basically, build a large circle here. You guys need to come in a little bit. You're just trotting. You're gonna regain stamina while doing that. And I do want to expose my general here a little bit. Okay, everyone is doing at least somewhat decent in terms of stamina. Did I just click some sort of stragglers that were running away? Potentially. Which way are you guys facing? Okay, you are facing towards my cavalry. In that case, I do not want to charge. I don't know which way you're facing, actually. Or maybe you're not facing anyway. Bam, bam, bam. Losing units, losing units, losing units, but beating them up pretty badly. So that's nice. Good. Okay, let's deal with the last remaining unit here. Which way are you facing? You decided to face to the right there. In that case, we're just going to come up behind you. And you shouldn't be running. No one should be running. Try to just gain some stamina here while you move. At some point we'll probably need some carbines and some other rifles. But for now, I think we're fine. Everyone catch your breath a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. And battle. This time I do think we need to gain some people. I would love to gain more veterancy, but we don't have that many recruits. And as we saw, ooh, I like the sabers. I don't like this because it's just infantry. I do like the horses and I do like the heavy jackets. But yeah, conscripts it is. Some 800 men. We did lose quite a couple of people. We are getting some promotions anyway, including I think on our officer, which I love to see. We've got charge, we've got melee. Let's see what we're gonna get. Charge. Zealous. I love Zealous. Artillery speed, of course, pointless. Morale would be nice, but I do think charge is super useful. Right. Brilliant. So, that being said, I think this is a good place to put in a cut. Let me think. Let me know what you think about our run here. And see what we're going to do with our hussars. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.